live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.
The Fedora Files.
All right, hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I'm Gregory Fedora, and I have an exciting show today. It's going to be not just me talking about stupid stories. I have a guest, and I'm super pumped that he's here because I'm a fan of his. My wife's a fan of his. My sister-in-law is a fan of his. My kids are fans of his. So that means they might listen to my show this week. So I'm really excited about that. So with me today is Dustin Anderson. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've never been on a guest on anybody's podcast before, so this is the first for me. I'm happy to be here.
Wow, I'm really excited. I was actually shocked that you said yes, because I went to your page and I contacted your business person and Kristen, and I sent 3 messages to her, and then she blocked me. And so you may need like a different person to take care of your business for you. Well, you're like mountain time, so I'm assuming you're in the mountains. So,
I am near some mountains. Yeah. And it's, I live in a technological black hole. Anything I try to do just doesn't work technologically. So that's probably, you're probably going to be upset that I said yes to this, because I might have just brought your whole podcast to its knees.
It's been on its knees for a very long time. It's fine. It's fine. So I actually did research, and by research, I just looked at your Instagram bio, and so I have questions. Some I'm not going to ask because I'm assuming, because you now do your own podcast, and I don't want to steal. There's so much I want to ask about the blind chicken, but I'm assuming that's going to come up in one of your podcasts, so I don't want to steal that from you. So I'm not gonna, and I'm just gonna wait, because I've listened to both of your podcasts. Like you said, you're on number 2, and that's exciting.
I very much appreciate the discretion, but literally anything you want, we can go anywhere you want with this. I've talked publicly about my blind chicken before. Her name is Celeste. We started out with 9 chickens. We're down to just 1. There's an ongoing investigation as to whether Celeste had something to do with the disappearance of the other 8. And it's strange that my kids named all of the chickens from day one. We had Ruby, and there was Arabelle, Clarabelle, Maribel. There's just a lot of rhyming names. And then Celeste. And the one that ended up surviving is the one that is literally named Celeste. Celeste.
Wow.
And now she sees less than any. Well, none of them see now because they're all dead. But she's like, the blind one ends up being the last. It's crazy.
So do you think maybe she's pretending to be blind to make you think, oh, she didn't do it?
We have explored basically every scenario with Celeste. That she's a great little faker. That she might have died and come back, but the eyes haven't come all the way back. Yeah, I mean, there's any number of scenarios. And by we, I mean my kids. They're way more creative than I am with this kind of stuff. So yeah, there's probably, I'd say 80% chance that she killed at least one of the other chickens.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm curious, because you said a lot of them. Did her name rhyme with anybody's?
No.
Or was see? So that could have been motive.
Jealousy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my wife and I. We have 5 kids, and we had started this thing where they all have L names, and so we did the first 2, and then all of a sudden we found out we were going to have a 3rd, and then we're like, well, we got to do another L name. So we did, and then we're like, oh, we're having a 4th, because we came to the thing is like, you can't have L and then one of them be like Brian, and because then, oh, you didn't. What was up with that? Because then there'd be a jealous, and then maybe it would be a Netflix movie about how Brian killed the family because his name wasn't an L. And now you got one with Celeste, maybe.
Yeah, there was another theory to that's a really good theory. I hadn't thought about the jealousy motive. I had thought, because all the other names rhymed, that maybe somebody was telling her who to kill, and she didn't quite get the first letter, so she just took she's like, it could be Maribel, Clarabelle, Eller, like it's any of them, so I'm just going to kill all of them to cover my bases.
Yeah, maybe she's just mad at one and the other saw, and then she's like,
because I mean, I think it was Which was it? The Son of Sam? Which serial killer was the one that his dog was telling him to kill people?
That was Son of Sam. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a dog, Theo. Maybe Theo was out there telling Celeste who to kill, and he wasn't very clear about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
because he's a dog, so he probably has an accent.
He, yeah, he's not from around here. He's from yeah. He's
Right.
I don't want to say, but he came across the border during the Biden
Oh,
administration. So
oh,
yeah,
see, you gotta be careful of that. Like,
yeah,
because they're cracking down on that now. So, they'll find your dog.
yeah. That's why we changed his name. It's not Theo now. It used to be something else, or it
Oh,
used to be.
okay.
That's an alias.
It's oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, I won't out your dog
I
because
appreciate
I
that.
like dogs. Now, one of my questions for you on your bio, you say you're a comedian and you're Lindsay's husband. I want to know which happened first.
Ooh, mostly. I mean, I grew up trying to be funny all the time. I wasn't usually very good at it. I just started trying to be a comedian like 3, 4 years ago, like for like on a stage with a mic. But um, it's probably pretty close to the same because she's my toughest. I'm just gonna go under the assumption that she won't listen to this. I hope she doesn't.
Hmm.
She does not think I'm funny at all. She likes
Oh,
that
really?
other people think I'm funny, but I'd say jokes when it's just me and her, and she's like, I can't believe that we're married like the whole time
Yeah.
we've been married. And so I think the comedy part really was trying to get Lindsay to laugh, which is not that's my biggest challenge. So
Yeah.
they kind of happened at the same time.
Okay. All right. So now I have to say, like when I came across your Instagram page, I didn't find you on TikTok. I know you're on TikTok and you got a lot of followers and views on there. TikTok confuses me. I don't know why. I tried it and I couldn't understand it. Like maybe you can explain to me because I did one video that was complete garbage and it got like 500,000 views. And then I was like, oh, cool. So then I did the second video I actually put effort into it and it got like 25 views. And I was like, I was like, what happened? Like I put effort into it. And then I did another garbage one and it was like, I'm like, what is going on? So then I gave up. So
Yeah, I think you just explained TikTok to me. It's just garbage. The whole thing, like everything that gets promoted is, yeah. Because I have similar experiences. I'll put the same thing on TikTok and Instagram, and on Instagram it will do what like people like it, and on
yeah,
TikTok nobody cares, and then vice
nobody
versa.
cares.
It's yeah. And I don't really do. I mean, I TikTok. Somebody told me, a teenager told me 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He's like, "You're already putting stuff on Instagram. Just put it on
On
TikTok too." But I don't really follow anybody. I don't go to TikTok and
yeah.
scroll. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I will say like your thing I found you at a time when I was actually down. Like I was going like I like just life in general, like with my dad passed away and then my mom moved in with us and then she got diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I was going through this like what the moment in my life because I was like, oh my gosh, this is not what I was anticipating in the past 3 years. And so it just everything changed. And so then I found yours and I had to say it actually your thing does help. You said you always end yours with I hope this helps, and it for me it did because I always cracked up because your delivery is by far one of the best deadpan deliveries I've ever seen in my life, like of comedians, anyone where it's very similar to Stephen Wright, how he would just say these ridiculous things and would not crack a smile, would not laugh at himself, and then he would just keep going. And the difference between you and him is it would be like one liners, but then it's random thoughts. And I know it comes across as though it's like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it comes across as you just are rambling, talking, rambling, but you always get to a point, and then it's like, and it so it feels like you're rambling, but I know you obviously have thought this stuff through and then you do it. And like, how did you come to surmise or come to the idea, I'm going to just start doing this? Like, is that how because I've not seen your live stand up. Is your stand up very similar to your Instagram or?
Yeah, and thank you. That's extremely nice, everything you just said. I've never been compared to Stephen Wright before, and I love that, man. I love his style of comedy, so that's extremely kind. I recently did a comedy show where somebody who has seen me on Instagram but never in real life came up to me after the show and said, "Oh, it was exactly like Instagram. It just went longer." And that was at least in that person's mind, a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing 60 minutes of just that, I think it might get to be a little much. So, and mostly I'm doing some short, like 10, 15, 20 minutes at
Yeah.
a time, but working in some longer stories and stuff because it is, I mean, a lot of it, I think I've tried, I'll come up with an idea and sometimes I'll make a video and think, it wasn't quite what I wanted to say. And I'll try a couple of takes and I'll go back. And the first one always just kind of felt more authentic. So I usually end up just, sometimes I don't have a point when I start a video and it just kind of, which is why I started, I think, saying, I hope this helps it just at the end of it. Cause obviously it didn't help. I was just rambling for 45 seconds and I was like, boy, I hope that helps. And then people started saying it back to me. I did some videos without it, and people would be like, "You forgot to say, I hope this helps." And so it just kind of happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great tagline. Like, it's like hilarious speaking, like you said, because you're rambling about like these nonsensical things, but it's always this story you're kind of giving, and it's like, and then at the end, it's like it would help no one because no one's been in that situation except for you. And to me, it always cracks me up. I'm like, I don't know why, but I've rewatched them. I went back because there was a one where you were talking about your pants, and what I found, like, that's one that turned political. People got really political with it there because of your shirt, and you were talking about your pants. And so I was listening to it, but I was reading the comments, and that made it even funnier because, like, you're just talking about pants, and then you're reading these people like, why would you say that? Or why would you? It's like, because some of them were saying, why would you say this? And it's like, well, he didn't say it. His shirt just says Jesus loves Democrats, or I think, right? It's Jesus loves Democrats or should love Democrats.
Yeah.
And they went like, how much did that actually surprise you when people got that upset about the shirt?
It's always surprising when anybody cares at all. And as you're talking about the video about pants, I don't remember making a video about pants. Half of the time, what I think I kind of, because it wasn't really well thought out, I kind of delete it from my brain. And I don't want to go back and watch anything that I've done. So people come up to me sometimes and they'll talk about a video I've done. And I'm like, I don't think that was even me. But I do remember people being mad at my shirt. And it's kind of funny that I don't really know, like, if you wear the Jesus Loves Democrats shirt to Walmart, old ladies will come up and get mad and tell you that Jesus also loves Republicans. And if you wear it in other places, people will come up and say that, that Jesus doesn't love like, it's, people don't know which side of the fence you're on, but they all just assume that you're on the other side of the fence from them.
Yeah. And I like that they're speaking up for Jesus, and that they obviously got an in on him. And
it's about time.
Yeah. Somebody needed to, because, like, they need to find out where Jesus would stand politically in 2025, because he hasn't said. I read the Bible, and he doesn't tell us, like, which way to vote, and it's upsetting. And
he's been very quiet on this whole Israel versus Palestine thing, which is, probably people who are more Bible scholars than me could guess which side he's on, but I don't even know which.
They could do an exegesis on one of them, and I think that's the way, like, Bible studies are done. Exegesis. I don't know. Like, I like that it's called exegesis, and it's about Jesus, and then So I do have a question about your last podcast. I think it was your last one. Okay. So in a way, it's a question, because you may not even remember what you said in your last podcast. But it's actually a mix of two of your podcasts. It's 1 and 2. Like, I know you're a fan of Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
So my question was this, and I know you also talked about wanting to talk to your grandmother who has passed away, but excluding those two, who would you like, because I know you haven't interviewed anyone on your podcast yet, but I know you want to. Who would you like to have as a guest on your podcast other than Malcolm Gladwell and your grandmother from beyond the grave? Which that would be a
Is
great
this
guest.
like dead, living, like anybody? I can pick
Yeah,
anybody.
anyone. Yeah, anyone.
Man, there are so many interesting people that you'd love to. I mean, George Washington comes to mind, Shane Gillis, those two, probably because one talks about the other. Um,
Having them
um,
on together would be hilarious. And having Shane ask him about,
yeah,
tell him
be like,
about the tour of his house.
talk about your teeth. Yeah, they
Yeah,
showed me your teeth. Show us your teeth.
yeah.
I don't know. I hope I get a chance to do some interviews on the podcast and we could get some actual people that, like, I would love to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
That he wrote a book once, it's probably back here behind me, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. And it's just like the most watered down version of astrophysics. And I was about a paragraph in and just lost completely. So I would love to just be like, hey, can you break down the first, let's spend an hour. I want you to go through the first paragraph of that book you wrote 7 years ago. And then I really want to I had an idea a while ago. I started a podcast like 7 years ago that failed so miserably that the hosting service went out of business and they deleted the files forever. And my
Was it
goal
because
was
of your podcast?
that nobody said that it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So it was a disaster. It was, yeah. It was an inside joke that only I ever got, which was good because only I ever listened to it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get famous people on the podcast that were working on big movies right now and then just ask them only about really obscure things that they had done like 13 years ago. And then just be like, we're out of time. It's time to go. And that would have been really fun for me and really frustrating for anybody else. So, yeah, I probably shouldn't be allowed to interview really anybody.
I don't know. That actually sounds hilarious because you could get them on and be like, yeah, here's James Gunn. He's got Superman coming out. And then ask him about everything but Superman.
Yeah, asking about his high school play.
Yeah. And then, hey, and what were those tweets that almost got you canceled? And then you could, like, I'm sure he'd love to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like that's where I would have gone with it. But now I do have a quote, like, I think it was in your last podcast. There's another one that you mentioned, well, because like Malcolm Gladwell has still not found you, which, I'm going to try and send him some, like, just go on his Instagram and keep tagging you on his Instagram till he follows you.
That would be great. I mean, I've done 2 entire episodes now. I've done like 26 minutes of podcasting and he still hasn't reached out. I don't know how much more of this I can do.
Yeah, I don't know, like, what is he actually doing? Like, I mean, he can't be that busy. He's written enough books.
No.
He doesn't need to write anymore.
Yeah.
But in it, you talk about Jennifer Aniston follows you now, and she does, because like after you said that, I was like, does she really, or was this one of your like funny things? And no, but she does. She does follow you, and I was like, that's awesome. But then I was wondering, do you think she actually is following you, or do you think she has somebody that runs her page and they follow you, or is she actually literally following you? Have you seen like random cars following you? And could it be Jennifer Aniston in that car?
This is the first time I've ever thought that Jennifer Aniston might be actually like physically following me.
Yeah.
And there was a time that would have been a really exciting opportunity for me, but that time is not now. So I hope that, I don't think she has ever heard of me. I don't think she knows anything. My guess is that she has an intern who was playing a joke that either she never actually has looked at her own Instagram and doesn't know who she follows, or the intern just slid in a couple of people like me to find out how long it'll take before she catches on and deletes it.
And she's like, what are you doing? Why are you following these people?
Yeah. So while it's, I mean, make hay while the sun shines. I'm going to talk about it right now,
Yeah.
and then it'll probably end up just calling attention to it and make it more likely that she'll see it and clear on out. But that's fine. I mean, better to have
Or
been followed by Jennifer Aniston than never to be followed at all.
yeah, but if she is really following you, maybe you could get her on your podcast and then you could get her to talk about Ferris Bueller's Day Off TV show because she was in that.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, like
That's
as
the.
like briefly.
I
But
didn't know there was a Ferris Bueller's TV. I'm writing this down on a piece of
yeah,
paper
it
like
was.
it's
Yeah,
1981.
I believe she played Ferris's girlfriend.
Huh. All right. Well,
Don't
yeah.
quote me on
Episode
like
three.
I have these like random like I know these I'm a plethora of random stupid facts that I don't know why I know them, but they're there and I share them when I can. And
You're the guy at parties that I look for that just tell me
yeah.
something I've never heard of before, and I'll try to remember it and pass it on at the next party.
Yeah, no, I get that a lot. Like I'll be talking to my wife and then I'll just spew out something and she'll be like, "What how do you know that?" I go, I don't know. I read it, I saw it somewhere and it stayed there. Like and it's like ridiculous. Unfortunately, it didn't help me in school because that
Yeah.
stuff didn't interest me. So I
Math gone.
yeah, yeah. I didn't need it. I didn't need it. So yeah, but knowing that Jennifer Aniston was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off TV show that didn't last a season, I know about that. So
That might save my
three
life
friends.
someday. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, who knows? You could be getting there like, we will only let you go, or it'll probably be Celeste. We'll have you cornered, and she'll be like, "What show was Jennifer Aniston in? That was a spinoff of a movie." And then you can like say it, and then she'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I won't kill
Uh,
you."
Imagine if Arabelle, Clarabelle, Farabelle had known the answer. I bet there was a moment, gun to the head, say the answer. They didn't know,
Yeah,
and that was it.
that. But you can't save them all.
You can't. You can't save them all. I can't save any of them so far. I might be the worst chicken farmer in the history of the world.
Well,
Eight,
you still
eight
have
out of
one.
nine chickens die, and the other one goes blind. I mean, she's what kind of life is that for a chicken? She sometimes sits on what she thinks is an egg, and there's nothing. Like she's just sitting, and she gets
Oh,
really protective of just nothing. So it's sad to see, but these are heavy
but
topics we're getting into. I didn't expect this
yeah,
today.
I wasn't expecting it either. I didn't mean to do it, but it happens. So I'm going to jump up so the Banksy panda bear,
Oh yeah.
which is behind you. And do you get any like money off of that? Is Banksy like helping you out because you advertise for him?
I don't. Do we even know who that is? Is it
Banksy?
because
No.
I heard it was just some underground guy just painting things in New
Yeah.
York. If I ever find him, figure out who he is, I'll ask him for my. But I don't sell this panda. I'm not at all connected to
Yeah.
the panda. I bought it on Amazon like 5, 6 years ago,
Mhm.
and people ask me about it all the time, and it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder if he even actually makes any money off it or somebody just took a picture of it and then they just started selling it. I hope
I
he'd have
bet.
to. He'd have to. But who would pay him because nobody knows who he is?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a secret like. I heard a story about Rage Against the Machine once where they still get together once a year and they meet in some diner and then they have a 20-minute meeting where nothing happens and they all just wander out into the world and don't talk to each other. Maybe he has something like that where he just walks in off the street, talks to a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, says, "Am I still a billionaire?" And then he just walks out and nobody knows
Yeah.
where it goes.
And I'm hoping I hope that he actually goes in and he says he's Banksy's assistant. So they just think it's this guy. And he's like, he wants to know, does he still have the money? And then like, yeah, he does. Okay, I'll let him know. So then they still don't
Yeah.
realize it's him.
That's like a
And
Padme Amidala kind of a situation.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I like that.
you don't know. And then like you got Keira Knightley there with her. And that like, cause we're not sure which one is which. What if Keira Knightley was always Padme and Padme was always really the assistant and So then she was never really a princess.
Wait, are you telling me Keira Knightley was in those movies?
Yeah, she was. She was Padme's body double in the movie. Like, she had like this person that would dress up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Keira Knightley.
Dang. So we got Ferris Bueller TV show, Jennifer Aniston. We got Keira Knightley in Star Wars. I got a lot of stuff to.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I'm gonna have to spend some time on this.
Yeah, dude, like, anytime you want some random dumb fact, just send me a message. I will give you stupid things and you can just throw it in there. I don't care.
You can just put me on the daily newsletter. I'll read these every day.
Yeah, I should probably start one. Like I am kind of jealous of you because when I was in college, I did an open mic one time on a dare, and I had fun. It was a great time. I don't know that I was that good. Everybody was drunk, so they were laughing, but then I just never did it again, and I don't know why. But then I always like going through life. I was like, gosh, I really wish I would have done that. And then my brother-in-law did stand up for a while, and I went and supported him, and then he stopped. But it's one of those things where I'm always like, man, I wish I would get back out there and try it again. But then I'm worried maybe I was never funny, and that it was the drunk people. And
Yeah, I mean, my biggest fear in life is that I'm not actually funny. People are just laughing because I'm so charming. And that's a I don't know if that's a common theme among most comedians seem to think. So maybe you're not cut out to be a comedian because most of them have false confidence. Where
okay.
if you could do 8 shows in a row and not hear a single laugh, and you're like, man, these crowds don't even know what funny. Like the crowd
The
is
crowds
terrible.
suck. Yeah, they
Yeah,
suck. Ah,
yeah. It's you got to have that confidence. I mean, if you're just gonna stand up on a stage with a mic and a spotlight and be like, everybody look at me and don't say a word unless it's
yeah.
about me. You have to have a lot of confidence or a lot of self-hatred, which I think there's a fine line sometimes. I know which side of that I end up on most of the time, but
Well, I do it. Like, have you dealt with hecklers yet, other than on Instagram, like live hecklers?
not real. I mean, not anything loud enough that maybe I'm just zoned out and thinking about how funny I am. So whatever they say doesn't touch me, but uh, I don't think I can't think of a single time when somebody heckled me I get heckled after shows,
Mhm.
like on the drive home, my wife based mostly,
Yeah, I
but
was, I was about to ask you. So, is your
yeah.
wife in the crowd, like when you're doing, like,
Just about every show that I do, I ask her not to go, and
she goes?
she goes every last time she flew in her sisters, and they made matching T-shirts and came, and it was really fun and supportive and everything for them. But I would rather be in a room where nobody knows who I am. So if the laughter comes, you know that it's funny and not just that somebody loves you in the crowd. Like
Yeah.
that's like genuine love when
Mhm.
you're trying to be funny is the worst thing.
Yeah. And well, the thing is, your wife genuinely loves you, and yet she doesn't laugh at you. So that's how much she loves you, is to not laugh. Think about that.
Yeah. You are a glass half full person because I would think that's how much she hates my jokes. She loves me and she still won't laugh at them.
Yeah. Well, she loves you so much that it doesn't matter that she doesn't find you funny. She's like,
That's
I'm staying with him anyway. And his dream,
and this
which I
stupid
don't
dream that he
support.
has.
Like, she's like, well, I mean, my wife does very similar things. She allows me, like, my ridiculousness and the dumb things I do. And like when I take my kids, because I'll be like, let's go up on, because I live near the Appalachian Trail, and I'll say, let's go make a short movie about this. And I go and do it. And my wife's like, why, what is the point of this? Because I don't, like, I just make them and then I just have them and I don't do anything with them other than they entertain me. And then it's like, oh yeah, that was fun. We had a great time doing that. And or I'll write a song and like, let's go make a music video. And then I put it out, but it's like I never, like 30 people, 40 people like, oh, this is great. And it's like they're all 30 or 40 people I know, and a lot
Yeah.
of my mom's friends, and they all love it, because those people seem to like my stuff. Or they just do it because they're my mom's friends, and they're,
And they love you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
So
awesome though
it's a
that
love thing.
you include your kids in that. Like those are things that your
Yeah.
kids will talk about that kind of thing at your funeral.
Yeah. No,
I
no,
know that's like
they,
0 to 60 morbid real quick. I'm not trying to go to your funeral, but that's like where you find out what really mattered to people. They're going to be talking about that kind of stuff.
well, what's really interesting, like, and I don't know if you want to hear about this, but speaking of funerals, my kids have joked about my tombstone in that how many different names they're going to have to put on it because I will come out with different characters. And like growing up, I've always like told them stories, but I tell them and I'd be like, I'm so and so, and I'd tell this crazy story. And my daughter's like, she's like, we got to get a big tombstone because there's going to be like 20 different names we have to put on it. She goes, because you put videos out and you go under different names, and it's like, and I had a character named Disco Ball Man who was a superhero, and his only power was he could dance, but he didn't even dance well. He just liked to dance. His superpower was he liked to dance, and he thought he could stop crime by dancing. And I wore this ridiculous costume. I actually went and wore it at a cosplay event and confused so many people because they're just like they were trying to figure out who I was. And it was this silver outfit with a cape and a mask, and it had a big logo that I designed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Disco Ball. And it was funny, and I should have filmed it because everyone tried to pretend like they knew who I was. And they're like, little did they know I made the whole thing up. But like, they're like, oh, yeah, Disco Ball Man. Yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah. And it's like, so, because
That's
again, they're trying to be nice. And they're like,
that
we don't.
is that's I mean, I love that you do that. Also, it's going to make it such a sad day. I don't want to there's a fine line between humor and tragedy. And I don't want to focus too much on death, but when you finally pass away, your kids are going to be like, I mean, it's terrible. Dad's gone. But also, it gets worse. Do you remember Disco Ball Man?
He's
He's
gone
dead.
too.
Like they're going to
Yeah.
have to mourn everybody that could fit on that
Wow.
tombstone all on the same day.
Yeah, they're gonna have to like put all my costumes in there too, and yeah, like
You're
just
gonna
to
need a
do it.
whole, yeah, you're gonna have to, that's a lot of money for those plots. You're
Yeah,
gonna need a few of
I
those.
might need like a whole mausoleum, and they can just hang them in there, and
What if they put you in each of it, like Russian doll style?
oh
You just are
yeah,
wearing all of them at the same time.
yeah, and just I mean, yeah, we're stuck on this now, but then 1,000 years from now, when the archaeologist finds my grave and they find me, and they're like, oh, that must have been the way they did it in 20 whatever. Like, it's like, and so then it'll be confused. The archaeologist, they'll like have this whole timeline figured out. Well, and like that's how they dressed, like the royalty. So they may think I'm like a king or something.
Yeah, post COVID, they just put all their clothes on him after the king just got buried in everything. In fact, all the people in the town got stripped and they got their clothes went on the king. That's how it went.
Yeah. Even though they just had that protest, we're not supposed to have kings. I don't care. I'm,
You're the last one.
yeah, I'll take that. So, now I do have like a few more questions because I don't want to keep you because I know you got a lot. You got, 5 girls to deal with and a blind chicken and a dog. And,
Hmm.
and then I don't know if you have any events coming up. So I want you to be able to talk about that. But one of my questions, it goes back to Malcolm Gladwell. Now I've read Outliers and David and Goliath, and by reading is I listened to them on audiobook because I drove in, and I live near DC, and I used to have to drive into Washington DC all the time. So I listened to them. Of his books, which one is like your favorite and has had the most impact on you?
Probably David
If
and
you've
Goliath.
read them, David and Goliath. Okay.
Yeah, David and Goliath. Well, I mean, it just the idea of like David wasn't the underdog in that
Mm-hmm.
story, and you don't even have to. I mean, I don't know if your audience is religious, not religious. It'd probably have a mix of both. You don't have to believe that even David was a real person. You can look at that whole story and just see the advantages of the little guy versus the big guy in that situation, and then apply it to yourself. and be
Hmm.
like, okay, in what situation am I the little guy that's supposed to get murdered here? And how can I see it differently so that I'm not the little guy, so that I'm actually going to come out on top? That was really impactful. And the way to do his books is to listen to him. I'm listening right now to the Revenge of the Tipping Point, his newest one,
Hmm.
and he does it like a 10-hour podcast. He does the audio, and he's got music in there and interviews and
Yeah.
stuff. So any one of his books that he's actually reading, I could just listen to all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's great. I enjoy his stuff. So yeah, David. Speaking of that, have you seen the David TV show, or I guess not TV show? I guess it's Amazon's show about David, the House of
No.
David. That's what it's called, the House of David, and
Huh.
it's really well done. It's pretty cool. I It's interesting. It gets into some like mythology. You know,
Huh.
it kind of like obviously it's not dead on with what the Bible says because you got to add stuff to make it more dramatic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they get into the Nephilim and all this like fringe stuff, which was kind of cool to me. To me, I was like, that's cool. And then I was like, that's what it was. You know, so now
Yeah.
it's changed my whole theology. You know, because I'm that kind of guy. If it's on, it's real. They showed it. Angels. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. So,
We watched, so have you ever seen The Chosen? We saw some of
yes.
that at my
Yeah.
house. And my kids are forever convinced that Matthew was pretty severely autistic now
Yeah.
because that's how he was portrayed in The Chosen. That might as well be in the Bible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna go with it because, yeah, I mean, why not?
It
He's
doesn't
really
say
good
that
with
he wasn't.
yeah, he's really good with numbers,
Yeah.
and every person that I know with autism is really good with numbers, and
Yeah.
that's how I found out I wasn't autistic is because I'm really bad with numbers, and you know, which is that's sad, but
Eh,
you know,
we can't all be autistic. Everybody's good
yeah,
at something different.
yeah, we
Everybody's
all have our
autistic
own
in their own way.
crosses, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so now my next couple questions, and then I will let you go because like I said, I don't want to keep you forever. Uh, now that you've obviously you've conquered TikTok and Instagram, and now you've conquered the podcast world because you've done two, and you did one 7 years ago, but now
Hmm.
you got your two now. What is next?
Man, I don't even know. Hopefully, episode 3 on the podcast, and that's probably gonna be. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I've conquered anything ever in my life. Instagram and TikTok. I don't think you can conquer them because they're not real. It's the. It's funny. Like I log into Instagram and see all of these notifications and all like views and comments and people DMing you and stuff, and that's really fun for like 2 days. And then you just realize, like, oh, this whole thing, it's just there's a piece of glass in my pocket. And when I look at it, it just has different things on it now. It doesn't, none of anything ever changed. So I really would like to be good at podcasting. I think you're what, over 100 episodes, right? How many have you done?
Um, on this
I
one,
looked at it. I
100,
listened to your last one. It was good.
okay, 160. You'll be 164, and then
Nice.
I do a couple other podcasts just because I have friends who wanted to do a podcast, and instead of doing it on their own, they said, "Will you do the podcast with me?" And so I do another one that's all about conspiracy theories, which I should probably cross promote, but I don't ever do that really.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, which I'll do it now. It's called Counter to Intelligence, and it's basically just conspiracy. And it's basically I present the conspiracy, and then my friend Tom, who is a skeptic, just has to explain why it's not real. Or most of the time, by the end, he's just like, I had no idea. And because I just come with all this information, like, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, so what do you think about that? And so, which is, it's fun for me, man. Like, because he loves them, but he's always thinking I'm going to come with like two things. And I come with like basically 20 minutes of a monologue about a conspiracy. And then I turn to him and say, so what do you think? and he's just like blown away. And then the other one that I just started with my brother-in-law, who was the comedian, he gets in. He wanted to do a news show, and it is called Free Flow News. And so basically, we only have one episode, but it's basically we talk about the news. So we talk about political and news stuff, then we get into sports, and then we get into entertainment. So it's basically what's going on in the world, and it's just us yapping about it and just making fun of stuff, and and that was it. So those are it. And I just released Free Flow News this past week because he finally convinced me to do it, because I was like, dude, I don't know if I want to do another one of these. And he's like, no, it won't be a podcast, it'll be a news show. And so then that got me so then I made it look like a news show. I did a whole intro like a news show. I did background like a news show. And I was like, all right. And he was like, wow, I didn't know you were really going to do that. I go, you said it's a news show. I'm making it a news show. So that's how I do it. Maybe I'll have to have.
Are you doing
on
all three of those every week?
Yeah.
Dude, I'll come on whatever you want. That conspiracy theory sounds. I'm the worst conspiracy theorist because I don't know. I don't have any facts. I just show up and I'm like, that it's not like those stars aren't really stars up there. And people are like, what are they? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't get that far.
Didn't want to go that far. Yeah.
But counter to intelligence. Great name. Yes. For that specific podcast. It's like self-deprecating, but also gets the point across. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we called it Counter 2 because there's two of us. And then I came up with the name. I was like, well, this is what we're going to call it. And that was one of these, I don't want to keep going about myself, but he and I've known him a while, and we always talk about conspiracy theories, and he's always been a doubter. And I more lean into a lot of them. Not every single one. Some of them I think are ridiculous, but I'll still present them. But, so he was always like, yeah, we should do a podcast about this. And we've been saying that for years. So it was like earlier this year, I just called him up and said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? He goes, nothing. I go, well, we're going to do a podcast. So here's what we're going to talk about, and let's go. And it started with that guy. I don't know if you remember the dude who shot himself in the Tesla, and then the Tesla blew up.
New Year's Day, right?
Yeah. So that was our first conspiracy that we talked about, because there was all this did he do it? Was there anyone actually in the car? And so that was.
Did you get to the bottom of that one?
If you want to know my theory is he was never in the car, and that he's still out there somewhere.
You think he's still on the run?
Yeah, I think he's like Jason Bourne, and he's going to come back again at some point, because if you watch the actual video, there's no flash of a gun going off, and then it explodes. And it's one of those that the stuff inside pretty much was incinerated, but somehow his driver's license was in perfect condition. And very similar to some of the 9/11 theories where people
with the passport.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the whole plane is incinerated, but we found his passport beautifully intact. So
yeah.
We haven't gone on to that one yet. That we will hit 9/11 at some point. I do want to hit the flat Earth theory, but again, math is not my forte, and so when every time I've researched it, there's way too much math. I'm like, golly, can't you just? Why do you got to give me all these facts about numbers? And I'm like, man, I can't present this, because if I do, a flat Earth person's gonna threaten my life, or a global person's going to threaten my life, because they're going to be like, why do you believe that? I go, I didn't say I believe anything. I'm just trying to present it, and I can't do it right. And so.
Yeah. I bet there's nothing more dangerous than a flat earther who knows what pi is, who knows the math part of it. And they probably can write out on a chalkboard, like Goodwill Hunting style, write out all of the math that shows that the earth is flat, and that anybody who thinks it's not flat is just the stupidest thing ever. And so you go and present that wrong, and that clip goes viral, then the dumbest math nerds on earth are going to be looking for you.
Yeah. And that's the problem. I don't want them to. I'd like to find a flat earth person that would like to be a guest, but if you watch the show, you see we make a lot of jokes. And so then they might think, we're making fun of them, but we're really just making fun of the fact that we don't really know what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, if I can find a flat earther over here, I'll send them your way.
Or if you want to pretend that you're a flat earther, and
I can do. I have to learn what pi is, but I could probably fake enough math to fool some of the people.
Yeah, you'd fool me. I'd believe it, and I'd be see, there's math, and so
there's math.
So, do you have any like dates coming up for doing your stand up you want to tell us about, or?
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I've got a show coming up July 25th in St. George, Utah. And if anybody wants tickets to that, there's still a few available. You can go to my Instagram at The Real Dustin Anderson, or you can go to, it's being put on by another podcast called the Dynamic Wit Comedy Podcast. If you just Google Dynamic Wit Comedy, you can see all the shows they have coming up too.
And you have a t-shirt site. Now, are those are all your shirts? Did you design those, or?
Yeah, I did the design. They're all printed, shipped by a third party, but I just designed them. Unpopulartshirts.com. And I started out thinking there are a lot of things that I would like to wear that most people won't wear. So I'm just they're unpopular designs. Like I've got one that's I love fossil fuels and the Jesus loves Democrats and stuff. And some of them like are meant to be provocative, but the fossil fuels one, like it's the most hypocritical thing that we just talk all of this stuff about fossil fuels while everything in our world is built on fossil fuels. And every time you order anything, fossil fuels bring it to your front door. So we got to talk about the benefits of it too.
Yeah.
So I just made a whole bunch of shirts like that were kind of unpopular. And then I just started putting out just stuff that I thought that was funny as t-shirts. So it's kind of morphed into something else.
And the thing about fossil fuels is if you get rid of them, then all those dinosaurs died in vain.
Dude, we are getting into some heavy stuff. I'd never even thought about that.
Yeah. I mean,
the dinosaurs gave their lives so that you could leave them down there.
Yeah. They gave their lives so I can drive recklessly. And Elon Musk is like tromping on their graves by saying, use my electric car that is, powered by an electric plant that uses fossil fuels. So I don't know.
It's the whole electric car phenomenon is funny. I think it's like AI and the internet. It's all just going to phase out, and we're just going to be banging rocks together trying to make fires. We're going to be eating pterodactyls again. Like everything's going to go backwards. Society comes up, it finds a pinnacle, and it goes back down. I think the pinnacle was probably right before COVID, or maybe it's right now, and then down we go way faster than we came up.
Yeah. So like we're headed back down to the caveman age. Like
yeah.
So I could I don't know if I'd want that though. That's a lot of work too. But you already got your chicken and you're good, So
I probably should get another one just in case Celeste doesn't. She lays about 1 or 2 eggs a week. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Well, yeah, it's true. But like you may want to make your new chicken's name rhyme with Celeste. So then she'll feel loved and not kill it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's we got to find something. So everybody wants to find something that rhymes with orange for poetry and hip hop and stuff. Yeah. What rhymes with Celeste? I think that's even harder.
Celeste. West and best. That's it. That's all I got.
West and best. All right, triplets. Celeste, West, and best. We'll see if they make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they do. Like, keep us informed on that, But so I want to thank you for coming on and showing up, like, because I didn't know you could have just been joking and then never came and then sent a message like, dude, I was kidding, I'm not coming on. And then been like, I hope that helps. And then I've been like, oh, okay. And then
I didn't even know that was an option until right now.
Yeah, I'm glad I waited.
Yeah,
I'm glad I waited till just now to say it. So then, now you can use that like if I ask you, like, because I'm probably going to ask you to come on again on something else, and you can use it then. And then
sounds good.
So thank you for coming on. And
Thank you. This was fun. This was again my first time being a guest on anybody's podcast, and it was a memorable one. I'm going to write in my journal about it.
oh, good. I hope that it comes out somehow in a rambling statement at some point down the road, and that would be fantastic. So
yeah, if there's a statement, it will be rambling. I promise you that.
perfect. So, and for those of you watching, listening, however you found me, thank you. And to my wife and kids who finally are listening because Dustin's on, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time.
The Fedora Files.
Check out fedoracrt.com today.